Imagine a meeting between two individuals from different cultures. One person finishes speaking, and a heavy silence descends upon the room. The other person remains quiet, offering no immediate response. How do we interpret this silence? Is it agreement, disagreement, contemplation, or perhaps even disrespect? The answer, it turns out, is far from universal. In some cultures, silence signifies agreement or a sign of respect for the speaker. In others, it might indicate discomfort, disagreement, or a need for time to process the information. This scenario underscores a crucial aspect of our globalized world. Communication extends far beyond the words we speak. To effectively navigate intercultural interactions, we must learn to decipher the unspoken language of cultural context. Communication, in its essence, is a complex interplay of verbal and nonverbal cues, all shaped by the invisible hand of cultural context. Verbal communication, often seen as the most straightforward aspect, encompasses not only the words themselves but also the nuances of direct versus indirect speech, levels of formality, and high versus low context communication styles. Nonverbal cues, on the other hand, are the silent orchestrators of meaning. Body language, eye contact, personal space, and even the use of silence itself speak volumes about our emotions, intentions, and cultural backgrounds. These nonverbal signals can either complement or contradict our spoken words, adding layers of complexity to intercultural interactions. Finally, cultural context serves as the overarching framework within which communication takes place. It encompasses a society's deeply ingrained values, beliefs, and norms, influencing everything from power dynamics and attitudes towards time to communication styles and conflict resolution strategies. One of the most significant challenges in cross-cultural communication lies in navigating the vast spectrum of cultural variations. High-context cultures like Japan or China rely heavily on shared understanding, implicit messages, and nonverbal cues. In these cultures, context is king, and communication often involves reading between the lines. In contrast, low-context cultures like the United States or Germany value directness, explicit communication, and clearly stated expectations. Here, words carry the primary weight of meaning, leaving little room for interpretation or ambiguity. These contrasting styles can lead to misunderstandings, with high-context communicators perceiving low-context individuals as overly blunt or insensitive, while low-context communicators may find their high-context counterparts evasive or lacking transparency. Similarly, cultural variations in the use of silence can create significant barriers to effective communication. While silence might signal respect or agreement in some cultures, it could be interpreted as disinterest, disagreement, or even disrespect in others. These differing interpretations highlight the importance of cultural sensitivity and the need to avoid imposing our own cultural norms on others. The impact of cultural differences in communication extends far beyond awkward social encounters. In the realm of international business, for instance, misinterpreting cultural cues can have significant financial and reputational consequences. A negotiation style that prioritizes directness and assertiveness, common in some Western cultures, might be perceived as aggressive or disrespectful in cultures that value harmony and indirect communication, potentially jeopardizing business deals and long-term relationships. In healthcare settings, effective communication is paramount for providing quality care. However, cultural differences in communication styles, attitudes towards authority, and perceptions of illness can create significant barriers between healthcare providers and patients from diverse backgrounds. Misunderstandings about medical instructions, diagnoses, or treatment plans can have serious implications for patient health outcomes. Even in educational environments, cultural variations in communication styles can impact learning and student engagement. Students from cultures that value deference to authority might be hesitant to participate actively in classroom discussions or challenge their teachers' perspectives. This reluctance to speak up can lead to misunderstandings and prevent students from fully engaging with the material. Bridging the gap: effective strategies for cross-cultural communication. Despite the challenges inherent in cross-cultural communication, several strategies can help bridge the cultural divide and foster greater understanding and collaboration. One crucial step is to cultivate cultural sensitivity and a willingness to adapt our communication styles to different cultural contexts. This adaptation involves being mindful of our verbal and nonverbal cues, paying attention to the communication styles of others, and adjusting our approach accordingly. Active listening is another essential skill for effective cross-cultural communication. It involves not just hearing the words being spoken, but also paying attention to the speaker's tone of voice, body language, and the underlying message they are trying to convey. By actively listening and asking clarifying questions, we demonstrate respect for the speaker's perspective and create a more open and engaging communication environment. Learning about the nonverbal cues and communication norms of different cultures is also crucial for navigating intercultural interactions successfully. Understanding how different cultures use eye contact, personal space, gestures, and silence can help us interpret nonverbal signals more accurately and avoid unintentional misunderstandings. Finally, it is essential to adjust our cultural expectations and avoid imposing our own cultural norms on others. Recognizing that different cultures have different ways of communicating, approaching interactions with empathy and a willingness to learn, and being open to adjusting our own communication styles are all key to bridging cultural divides and fostering more effective cross-cultural communication. The power of perspective, embracing cultural diversity. In an increasingly interconnected world, the ability to communicate effectively across cultures is no longer a luxury, but a necessity. Embracing cultural diversity in communication is not just about avoiding misunderstandings, it's about unlocking the immense potential that lies in diverse perspectives and experiences. By embracing cultural differences in communication, we open ourselves up to new ways of thinking, problem-solving, and interacting with the world around us. We gain a deeper understanding of different cultures, challenge our own assumptions and biases, and build stronger, more meaningful relationships with people from all walks of life. A call to action: cultivating cross-cultural competence. Developing cross-cultural competence is an ongoing journey of learning, unlearning, and relearning. It requires a conscious effort to step outside of our cultural comfort zones, embrace new perspectives, and develop the skills and sensitivity needed to navigate intercultural interactions effectively. By investing in cross-cultural training programs, engaging with people from diverse backgrounds, and actively seeking out opportunities to learn about different cultures, we can equip ourselves with the tools and knowledge needed to thrive in a globalized world. Reflecting on our own cultural lens. As we conclude our exploration of cross-cultural communication, it is crucial to reflect on our own cultural lenses and how they shape our interactions with the world. What cultural norms and values have shaped our communication styles? How do our cultural backgrounds influence our interpretations of verbal and nonverbal cues? By engaging in self-reflection and critically examining our own cultural assumptions, we can become more aware of our own biases, avoid imposing our cultural norms on others, and approach cross-cultural interactions with greater empathy and understanding. Ultimately, the journey towards effective cross-cultural communication begins with a willingness to learn, adapt, and embrace the richness and complexity of our diverse world.